A bailout for the arts. Theatres, music venues and museums are to get £1.5 billion of government support.
Big changes in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as lockdown restrictions are eased. We will have all the details for you.
And it was a big weekend for pubs and restaurants in England like this one as they welcome back customers. But there's a warning that more support is needed if they're going to survive long term.
Lewis Hamilton says he was silenced in speaking out about racism and regrets not taking action sooner as he's joined by several Formula One drivers in taking a knee at the season's first race.
Thousands of us applauded the NHS once again to mark the health service 72nd birthday yesterday. The Prime Minister joined in the tribute as staff gathered outside hospitals to join in those celebrations as well, which were inspired by the weekly clap for carers, which took place during the height of the pandemic. It's hoped that the anniversary applause will become an annual tradition.
Shall we have a quick look at the papers? 6:10, and let's look front page of the Metro. The show will go on, is how they put it, as it reports on that £1.57 billion funding boost the government's announced for the arts industry. The main image we just saw, actually, is of a Spitfire flying overhead with a thank you message for the NHS on its 72nd birthday.
The Guardian are also reporting on the support package being offered to struggling theatres, museums and music venues. The playwright James Graham tells the paper the money appeared to be more than most people in the arts dared to dream of. We'll be speaking to Oliver Dowden, the Culture Secretary, at 7:30 this morning.
The Times reports that the Treasury is planning a stamp duty holiday, meaning most home buyers will be exempt from paying the tax. Chancellor Rishi Sunak will reveal the details behind the plans later on this week.
And as outdoor cafes and bars prepare to reopen in Scotland today, the Scotsman leads on the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon's plea to drink alcohol safely.
Did you go to the pub?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? I went to a cinema, which was really lovely, actually.
We watched Hamilton on Disney Plus with the kids. It took a long time, so I had to keep stopping it. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you've seen it in
I've seen it in the theatre.
I had to keep stopping it and sort of explaining the historical significance of various parts of it, but they loved it.
Yeah. We're talking about the money that will be is going to be given to things like theatres and cinemas a little bit later. How much difference is that going to make? We've heard about so many people involved in the arts saying there are very real difficulties, the threat of some theatres having to close. So,
church, but not as we know it. Lots of people went back to church for the first time yesterday. Have a look at this in the Daily Mail. So this is a church service in, can you see that one? This church service in Darlington, where you can, because obviously you can't sing at the moment, but these people could all come and sing in their cars. So they were sort of requesting songs and hymns to sing. And this is the minister at the front leading the service. And you've got, you can see down the bottom here, this is essentially if you're able to get into a church, this is a wedding inside a church. Our church in Sheffield had all sorts of weddings this week as people were trying to cram them in.
Have they already had that?
Yeah, there was
them?
one. I think they were meant to have 200 guests, and instead they went down to about 25. So,
yeah,
but still able to get married.
Only 30 people, isn't it? So once you've got various people involved in the service, it probably is about 25.
Exactly, and I think most people are sort of planning to have a get together later on. Once things have eased. There could be thousands of excess deaths in the UK this year because of a delay to cancer diagnosis and treatment during the coronavirus pandemic. This is according to new research. Scientists have examined data from 8 hospital trusts and found GP referrals for cancer tests are still down by almost half. NHS England says it's working to restore services and increase capacity.